Hi everybody, this is Luna. I wanted to go over a phishing email that I received. I do realize that my inbox did go ahead and report it as a spam already, which is fantastic. I did just want to go over some of the language and some of the things to be aware of. This way it can go ahead and help you with any emails that you may receive and may be cautious of. In this, it did look like a typical email, so just diving into it, you've been nominated for 2022. This is for the professional who's who, so yay! Awesome! For a moment, we're just going to pretend like it's a real email, so yay! Congrats! Now, you've been nominated in 2021. Now, hold on a minute. You said that you've been nominated for 2022. Is it 2021 or 22? I'm a little bit confused. Suspending that for just a moment, we're going to go ahead and pull forward. So please respond promptly to ensure your complete professional information is taken into consideration. Confirm your nomination today. Now already we're looking at the formatting. This should be down a little bit further, at least for me, from all of the emails that I've seen. This should be a little bit closer to about here, so it lines up a little bit more, not just floating up like a degrees. That aside, so candidates are selected based upon one's, and this already looks a little formatted weirdly, one's current position and research with information obtained from reputable executive and professional listings. The way it sounds, it's just worded not like a human would be saying it, but more robotic, if you will. As somebody who's neurodivergent, the way that I read it, it doesn't sound personable, and it sounds like a machine wrote it out to me and not a person writing it to me. So the second bullet point, upon final confirmation, you will be listed among over 1.5 million accomplished individuals in the Who's Who registry. The biographical data presented in Professional Who's Who comes from the most authoritative sources available, the biographies themselves. Inclusion in a Who's Who publication acts as an endorsement of your credentials and can significantly enhance your online credibility and visibility. There is no cost or obligation to be included in Professional Who's Who. So that right there still sounds super weirdly to say. For me, it would have been more worded like, there is no cost or obligation to be included in the Professional Who's Who. It just sounds very detached, very cold, very robotic. Now, as somebody who is autistic, I know that there is that stereotype that people with autism, we can be robotic, we can be monotone. To a degree, yes, there are some of us who can present this, but with the way that this is worded, it's very machine-like, it's very robotic, it's very flat, it's very one tone. There's absolutely no, it's very, very different. That's a whole other rabbit hole I can go down. I just want to make that very clear distinction that this is not human worded. There's no human component. There's nothing human about this. This is just based off of coding words. There's just no human element to it. So twice in here, confirm your nomination today. With red being a power color, this stands out. This is meant to grab your attention and draw you here to make sure that you're not missing this. So that's why it's intentional. If you do not wish to receive future messages, click here to unsubscribe. Honestly, unsubscribing from this, it's going to do absolutely nothing. Their intention is to get you to click on something in here. My thoughts is that this is a honeypot without really digging deep. What that means is that by clicking into this, by responding, by doing something, is sending any information that you have over to them. A honeypot is developed for them to go ahead and receive any information that they can get. So think of it kind of like a pot of honey. Your fly, anything that you send over will go directly to them. That's a whole other bunny trail I'll go into at a later time, not necessarily for here today. I just wanted to go ahead and kind of touch on it, that if you see anything like this, delete it. Absolutely delete it. Now, the reason I know that this is not it's not legit without even going without going further, is because of the language used in this. But if I was curious and wanting to dig a little bit further, the next step I would take is to click here, and that's the little arrow. So this is from, and this will tell us who's sending it. This email address here is not actually an email address. It's weird, absolutely weirdly written. And so what I did was, first of all, I came over and I put in the actual address and I looked up where they were, what they were associated with. And it's just very weird. It looks like a lawyer. It looks like they're, make of it what you will. The next step that I did was I went in and I got some more of the security details. If you want to learn a little bit more about this, you can click learn more. This will pull up more of your security information. You can check your messages. What this is with any encrypted information that comes over, they'll tell you the layer that it comes through, and this is part of your data, your OSI model. That's a whole complex, different conversation will happen at a later date. I just want you to know that this is part of what's called the transport layer security. And basically all it does is it just helps prevent others from reading your emails. So think of it like when you send a letter to somebody, this just protects that letter so that somebody else can't just reach in and read it. This will give you more insightful information to make sure that it breaks it down a little bit more user-friendly. This also will go over Android, computer, and iPhone and iPad. Now, this is specific for Gmail. That's the one I'm predominantly using. But depending on what your email account is, you can go in and break this down. I have other accounts. I'll go ahead and do them as well. But I wanted to just kind of jump in and show you from a Gmail account. So the messages that you're sending, you can go in and take a look. If you ever see a no TLS or no transport layer security, that means that it was not encrypted. It's not secure. Don't trust those. Here's the messages you've received. And then why some of the messages may not have been encrypted, or why they're not sent over securely. And they just kind of give you a little bit of the scenarios. So you can go into those at a later date, a little bit more of a deeper dive. Moving into a little bit more research. So this is more of an OSINT, so open source information or investigation. This is this is something everybody can do to protect themselves, and what I always encourage everybody to do. There's a couple of websites that you can go into. The first being Have I Been Pwned? Not sure if I'm saying it correctly. It's what I've been rocking with. You can go ahead and put in that web address. So let's say if we go over the email address, if we go over here and we pull up we come back in here. What this does is it tells us if this email address has ever been in a data breach. Now, if you're ever wondering why you've been receiving an influx of robocalls or spam emails, you can come in here and check your own, and this will tell you if it's ever been and what breaches it may have been involved in. This one has not been, but then there's this other site here, which is fantastic, and this is where I came into and popped it in here, and it tells us that this is a very risky address. The domain's valid, but it doesn't have a valid MX record. So basically what it means is that the email address is not deliverable, and it has a very low reputation. They haven't observed the email address on the internet, and it has no profiles on any major services like LinkedIn, Facebook, iCloud. Because it doesn't have a presence means that is very, very, very suspicious. It was created recently, like 213 days ago. So it means that because it's still a baby, it means proceed with absolute caution. Based on everything that I've seen here, if I were to if somebody were to come to me as a consultant, say, Luna, I'm very concerned about this email, I don't know what to think, I would say delete it. It absolutely is suspicious to me. I would not trust it. I hope that this has been extremely helpful for you. I wanted to give you a little bit more of a way to empower yourself. I'll go ahead and link both of these sites down below, and let me know if you have any questions. Have a great day.